Welcome everyone to Fantasy Watch, where you learn which players to buy, sell, or hold. I'm your host, BREDA, aka The Real Late Bloomer. As always, the object is to buy low, sell high, and make sure you're not getting rid of players you should be holding on to.
Sports Live, where we rap sports analysis.
So the first player on our list is Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz last year was off to an extraordinary season, throwing 33 touchdowns in only 13 games and on his way to his first MVP. But then he got injured. This year, it took him a couple of weeks to get back, but his first game back against the Colts, I thought he looked very, very sharp. What I like about Wentz is he has a laser arm, he's accurate, and he also has the ability to run the football better than a lot of people think. He's also going to be getting some reassurance back. Ajayi should be back either this week or the next. The same with Jeffrey. And they got those two tight ends, Zach Ertz and now the rookie Goddard, that look absolutely amazing. So Wentz is somebody I would definitely try to buy low on, especially his first game back. Remember, it was only his first game back, and Indianapolis Colts are pretty good against quarterbacks, and he still threw for 255 yards. Only one touchdown, but still, now's the time to buy low. The next guy on our buy list is Leonard Fournette. I've always loved Leonard Fournette. I had him on my team last year, and I just traded for him this year. It's not often that you can get a top-level running back, first-round talent, even potential RB, like RB11, best running back in the league, for a discount. And the thing I like most is that Doug Marrone said he was going to focus on trying to get Fournette to catch the ball more. And he already had 36 receptions last year. And in just a quarter and a half this season, he had 3 receptions. So you got to like those numbers. In 13 games last year, which would be basically what he would play this year if he plays the rest of the season, he got 1,000 yards, 9 rushing touchdowns, and those 36 receptions. I look at that as Fournette's floor. So with someone with that type of upside and that type of floor, you gotta buy low on Leonard Fournette. The last person on our buy list is Jarvis Landry. Now Jarvis Landry's been a PPR monster for years, but I was a little concerned going into the season because they said they were moving him outside. You also had Josh Gordon and Tyrod as your quarterback, but insert Baker Mayfield and everything changes. Last game, he had 15 targets, including a touchdown. He even threw for a touchdown. They find creative ways to get him the ball. And right now, he's only ranked the 22nd wide receiver in PPR. I think that's his absolute floor. He could only go up from here, and I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up being a top 12 wide receiver or wide receiver 1. If there's any wide receiver you want to buy low on in PPR, it's definitely Jarvis Landry. Now for our sell list. The first player on this list is Tyler Lockett. Now Tyler Lockett's somebody I really liked for several seasons now, but it seemed like he never quite, made that extra leap until this year. This year he's ranked number 21 in PPR, but I do believe that's his ceiling. The reason for that is he's still only averaging less than 6 targets a game. Now he has been saved by the touchdowns, but I don't see Seattle as a prolific offense. I think they're going to continue to give Chris Carson the ball more, and I don't want to have to rely on that home run threat. Not to mention, Doug Baldwin will probably be coming back at some point this season. So if there's any time to sell Tyler Lockett, it would be now. The next guy on our sell list is Marshawn Lynch. Now Marshawn Lynch is currently ranked the 14th best running back in PPR. Another guy, I definitely think that's his ceiling. The reason for that is he's going to be one of those touchdown or bust type of running backs or game script type of running backs. With a bad defense, they're going to be behind in a lot of games, which means Rashard will be in the game quite a bit. And at over 30 years old, to rely on him to stay healthy, I think that's nearly impossible. He's already been dinged up, and I love Marshawn Lynch, but you got to sell on this guy right now. The last player on our sell list is Buck Allen. Now, Buck Allen is currently an RB1. I know, crazy, right? He was just a waiver wire last week. But that's why you want to sell, because you always want to sell with players at their peak value, and Buck Allen's not going to get higher than the 11th ranked running back in PPR. He's also game script running back, similar to Chris Thompson in Washington, where he might be the guy one week and then kind of be like non-existent the next. Now they do trust him in the end zone. He had a rushing touchdown last week and also a receiving one, but game script is a concern. There's not going to be many weeks that Baltimore is down like they were last week because they've had some injuries on the defensive side of the football. So if there's any time to sell Buck Allen, it will be right now. The first guy on our hold list is Matt Breida. Now Matt Breida is currently leading the league in rushing despite only getting 10, 11 carries a game, which is pretty remarkable. Also, we don't know how he's going to be with C.J. Beathard, but when Hyde was the running back last year, he averaged 5 catches a game with Beathard and 8 targets to the running backs in general. So you don't want to just sell him, but you also don't want to buy shares of Breida because it's virtually unknown. But we do know that he has talent, and we do know that Beathard last year targeted the running back a lot. So at this moment, I would say pump the brakes and stay put on Matt Breida. The next guy on our list is Gronkowski. Yep, I mean, I was kind of leaning towards buy, but the one thing that worries me about Gronkowski always is the injuries. That's why I'm not quite ready to buy him, but I'm definitely not ready to sell him either. The reason for that is the Pats should be getting some reinforcements coming soon with Edelman coming back from suspension. They also traded for Josh Gordon because the reason Gronk hasn't been producing is he's got 2 guys on him every single time. It was so evident in that Detroit game. But once these other players come back, I have no doubt Gronk will be either the first or second best tight end in fantasy football, as long as he's healthy. The last player on the hold list is Detroit wide receiver Kenny Golladay. The reason he's on this list is because you don't want to quite buy him now, although you can because he's kind of at peak value or close to it. And then you don't want to sell him because I believe he's going to stay there. The reason for that is Detroit throws the ball a ton, first off. I think they're going to be down in a lot of games. Their defense is not that good despite what you saw against the Patriots. And also, they drafted him to be the #1 receiver. He has all the physical attributes. He's big, he's fast, he's strong, and he's averaging over 9 targets a game. Add all that up and make sure you hold on to Kenny Golladay. Well, that concludes this segment of Fantasy Watch. Be sure to subscribe for all the latest fantasy content and comment down below which players you think you should buy, sell, or hold, or any fantasy related questions for that matter. And be sure to follow me at SportsLibs on social media. Till next time.